There's a moment when all the lights seem to dim around us. A moment when we look to the horizon and see only darkness, uncertainty, and fear. It's in this instant that our soul cries out for something greater, for a force to remind us that even in the deepest night, dawn always returns. Have you felt this weight? Have you woken in the middle of the night with a heavy heart, questioning if there's still hope for your dreams, for your future, for the world we'll leave to our children? If so, then you need to hear what I have to share today. Because there's an ancient wisdom woven into the pages of one of the most powerful stories ever told that can transform your perspective on life and rekindle the flame of hope within you, even on the darkest days. Welcome to a unique and transformative journey, where the timeless lessons of The Lord of the Rings become a balm for the weary soul and a guide to strengthening your inner hope. Today, we'll delve together into the profound wisdom that emerges from Tolkien's pages, through the voices of characters who faced the deepest darkness and still kept the flame of hope alive. Aragorn, who waited decades to accept this true destiny. Gandalf, who found light even after confronting the most terrible shadows. Frodo, who carried the heaviest burden in the world and still didn't give up. Sam, who taught us that hope blossoms in the simplest acts of love and loyalty. Each of them has something precious to teach us about nurturing hope when all seems lost. Welcome to a unique and transformative journey, where the timeless lessons of The Lord of the Rings become a balm for the weary soul and a guide to strengthening your inner hope. Today, we'll delve together into the profound wisdom that emerges from Tolkien's pages, through the voices of characters who faced the deepest darkness and still kept the flame of hope alive. Aragorn, who waited decades to accept his true destiny. Gandalf, who found light even after confronting the most terrible shadows. Frodo, who carried the heaviest burden in the world and still didn't give up. Sam, who taught us that hope blossoms in the simplest acts of love and loyalty. Each of them has something precious to teach us about nurturing hope when all seems lost. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover how to apply these ancestral lessons to your daily life, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth, and finding inner strength you may not even know you possess. You'll learn to see hope not as a naive illusion, but as a conscious and powerful choice that can completely change your life experience. And most importantly, you'll leave here with practical and spiritual tools to cultivate unwavering hope, capable of withstanding life's storms and illuminating your path even in the most challenging moments. First lesson: not all those who wander are lost. Aragorn teaches us that sometimes we need to wander to find our true path. When you feel lost in life, when certainties crumble and the future seems hazy, remember that being lost is not the same as being directionless. There's a fundamental difference between wandering aimlessly and wandering with the confidence that the path will reveal itself at the right time. Aragorn wandered the wild lands for decades, not because he was lost, but because he was preparing for the moment he would be called upon to accept his true identity as king. In your life, these periods of uncertainty are not signs of failure, but opportunities to grow, learn, and strengthen yourself. When you don't know exactly where you're going, you're developing essential qualities like flexibility, resilience, and inner confidence. You're learning to trust the process of life, even when you can't see the whole picture. Practice this lesson by allowing yourself to wander without judgment. When you feel lost, instead of despairing, ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? How can I use this time to strengthen myself and prepare for what lies ahead? Second lesson: all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Gandalf reminds us that we have no control over the circumstances we face, but we have total control over how we respond to them. This is one of the most liberating lessons we can learn. How many times have you caught yourself lamenting the past or worrying excessively about the future? How many times have you let external circumstances dictate your inner state? Gandalf teaches us that true wisdom lies in focusing on the present, on what is within our reach, on the choices we can make now. When you embrace this philosophy, something magical happens. You stop wasting energy on things you can't control and channel all your strength into what truly matters: your actions, your attitudes, your choices in the present moment. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or being irresponsible with the future, but recognizing that the only moment you have real power is now. Practice this lesson by starting each day with the question, "What can I do today to honor the time that has been given to me?" Let this reflection guide your priorities and your actions. Third lesson, even the smallest person can change the course of history. Frodo and Sam teach us that greatness has nothing to do with size, physical strength, or social standing. It has to do with courage, determination, and the willingness to take the next step, even when it seems impossible. Frodo was an ordinary hobbit with no special fighting skills or magical powers, but he changed the fate of all Middle-earth. How? Simply by deciding not to give up and taking one step at a time toward his goal. You may feel small in the face of life's challenges. You may think your actions make no difference in the world. But this lesson shows us that every person has a unique and important role in the grand story of humanity. Your everyday choices, your acts of kindness, your decision not to give up on your dreams, all of this has a greater impact than you imagine. Practice this lesson by recognizing the power of small actions. Every gesture of love, every word of encouragement, every time you choose hope over despair, you are planting seeds that can blossom into extraordinary changes. Fifth lesson, the darkness doesn't last forever. Gandalf teaches us that darkness, no matter how intense, is always temporary. Even he who faced the deepest shadows in the mines of Moria found light on the other side. This lesson is profoundly comforting to those going through hard times. It means that no matter how heavy the storm you're facing, it will pass. No matter how long the night seems, dawn always comes. But this lesson goes beyond simple consolation. It teaches us that darkness has a purpose in our lives. It's in the most challenging moments that we discover our true strength, that we develop compassion for others, that we learn to appreciate the light. Gandalf emerged from the darkness more powerful and wiser than before. You too can use your moments of darkness as opportunities for growth and transformation. Fifth lesson, the real treasure is the friends we make along the way. Sam teaches us that hope is more easily maintained when we are not alone. His unwavering loyalty to Frodo not only saved the mission, but also showed us that authentic relationships are one of the greatest sources of strength and hope we can have. When you have people who believe in you, who support you in difficult times, who celebrate your victories and help you get back up after falls, it becomes much easier to keep hope alive. But this lesson also teaches us that we need to be that kind of friend to others. When you become a source of hope in someone's life, when you offer unconditional support and genuine love, you not only strengthen the other person, but also strengthen yourself. Hope is contagious. When you share it, it multiplies. Practice this lesson by consciously investing in authentic relationships. Be the kind of friend you would like to have. Offer encouragement, be present in difficult times, celebrate others' victories as if they were your own. Seventh lesson, there is still goodness in the world and it's worth fighting for. Sam reminds us that even in dark times, when it seems that evil is winning, there is still goodness in the world. And this goodness is not just something beautiful to observe, it's something worth fighting for, something that justifies all our efforts and sacrifices. When you can see the goodness that still exists in the world, when you can recognize the beauty that persists even amidst chaos, your hope naturally strengthens. This lesson teaches us that hope is not based on denial of reality or blind optimism. It is based on the conscious recognition that, despite all the problems and challenges, there is still much to be grateful for. There is still much worth protecting and nurturing. Practice this lesson by making a conscious effort to notice and celebrate the goodness around you. It could be the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of a sunset, the laughter of a child, or the love of a family. When you train your eyes to see the goodness, it becomes more real and present in your life. Eighth lesson: courage is not the absence of fear, but action in spite of fear. Frodo teaches us that true courage doesn't mean not being afraid. It means acting rightly despite fear. Frodo felt fear throughout his journey, but he didn't let that fear paralyze him or prevent him from doing what needed to be done. This is a crucial lesson for keeping hope alive in difficult times, because fear is one of the main forces that kills hope. When you understand that it's normal to feel fear, that even heroes feel fear, you stop judging yourself for your anxieties and fears. Instead, you can focus on acting according to your values and goals, even when you feel scared. This tremendously strengthens your hope because you prove to yourself that you are able to overcome obstacles even when you feel vulnerable. Practice this lesson by identifying an area of your life where fear has been preventing you from acting. Then commit to taking a small step towards what you know is right, even if you feel afraid. Ninth lesson: the seeds of hope are planted in the darkest moments. Aragorn teaches us that it is precisely when everything seems lost that we have the opportunity to plant the seeds of renewal. When the kingdom of Gondor was in its darkest hours, when it seemed that evil had won, it was precisely at that moment that Aragorn assumed his role as king and began to rebuild. This shows us that the most difficult moments are also the moments of greatest potential for change and growth. When you're going through a tough time, when you feel like you've hit rock bottom, remember that this might be exactly the moment you're being prepared for a new beginning. Seeds need to be planted in the darkness of the earth to sprout. Your most challenging experiences may be preparing the ground for something new and wonderful in your life. Practice this lesson by asking yourself in difficult moments, what seeds of hope can I plant now? How can I use this experience to strengthen myself and prepare for a better future? Lesson 10: Power in the Everyday. Sam teaches us that hope is kept alive not through grand heroic gestures, but through small daily acts of love and dedication. Sam cooked, cleaned, cared for Frodo, and it was through these simple gestures that he became the true hero of the story. This shows us that you don't need to do extraordinary things to be a positive force in the world. Your daily routines, the way you treat people, the small acts of self-care and care for others, all of this is powerful and significant. When you find purpose and meaning in the small things in life, your hope becomes stronger and more enduring. Practice this lesson by paying attention to the details of your daily life. Find ways to bring more love, care, and intention to your daily activities. Be kind to the shop clerk, prepare a meal with love, truly listen when someone is talking to you. Lesson 11: Light always conquers darkness. Gandalf teaches us that no matter how powerful the forces of darkness seem, light always has a superior power. This doesn't mean that the victory of light is easy or automatic, but rather that it's inevitable when we persist and don't give up. Gandalf faced Saruman, the Balrog, and many other shadowy forces, but always maintained faith that light would prevail. This lesson gives us a profoundly hopeful perspective on life. It means that every time you choose love over hate, generosity over greed, compassion over judgment, you are contributing to the victory of light. Your positive choices, however small they may seem, are part of a larger force that is always working to bring more beauty and goodness into the world. Practice this lesson by being mindful of your daily choices. Whenever you face a decision, ask yourself, which choice would represent the light in this situation?
and then act accordingly. Lesson 12. True power lies in unity. The saga teaches us that no challenge is too great when people unite with a common purpose. The Fellowship of the Ring, the different races of Middle-earth uniting against a common enemy, Sam and Frodo supporting each other, all these examples show us that hope is strengthened when shared. When you feel part of something larger than yourself, when you know you're not alone in your struggles, your ability to keep hope alive multiplies exponentially. This doesn't mean you need to be part of large movements or organizations. It can be as simple as genuinely connecting with your family, your friends, your community. When you cultivate relationships based on mutual support and shared purpose, you create a network of hope that can sustain you and others in the most difficult times. Practice this lesson by looking for ways to connect more deeply with the people around you. Offer your support, ask for help when you need it, participate in causes that are important to you. We've reached the end of this transformative journey through the timeless lessons of The Lord of the Rings, and I hope you feel a renewed flame of hope burning in your heart.
These aren't just lessons from a fantasy story. They are profound principles that can revolutionize how you live and face life's challenges. Each character we've encountered today has offered us a precious gift, the wisdom that hope is not a passive feeling, but an active choice we make every day. Remember, you don't need to wait for circumstances to change to start living with hope. You can choose to rekindle that inner flame right now, regardless of what you're facing. Like Aragorn, you can wander with confidence, knowing that the path will reveal itself at the right time. Like Gandalf, you can focus on what's within your reach in the present moment. Like Frodo, you can take the next step even when it seems impossible. Like Sam, you can find strength in simple kindness and genuine love for others. Hope is not a naive illusion. It's a real and powerful force that can completely transform your life experience. When you nurture inner hope, you not only change your own reality, but also become a source of light for everyone around you. You become part of the answer to a world that desperately needs more hope, more kindness, more people willing to believe that better days are possible. So, as you prepare to sleep tonight, take these lessons with you. Allow the wisdom of Tolkien and his beloved characters to calm your mind and strengthen your heart. Remember that even on the darkest nights, you carry within you a light that no darkness can extinguish. And when you wake up tomorrow, you will wake up with a new perspective, a new strength, a new ability to see possibilities instead of limitations. If these lessons touched your heart and brought clarity to your life, please share this video with someone who also needs to be reminded of the strength within us. Leave a comment letting us know which lesson resonated most with you and how you plan to apply it to your life. And if you want to continue this journey of growth and self-discovery, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new messages of hope and wisdom. May you sleep tonight knowing you belong to a larger story, that your choices matter, that your light makes a difference in the world. May you wake tomorrow with a heart full of hope and a soul strengthened by the certainty that no matter what the future brings, you have within you everything you need to face any challenge, wisdom, and love. Good night, and may hope be your constant companion in all the days to come.